Happy Feral Monday. My brows are glued down. I'm going to show you why they're glued down. And I need you to immediately put on your makeup seatbelt. So many of you send me this look. So many. And I'm so excited because I just found a new artist that I am absolutely in love with their work. Just absolutely. Just so beautiful. So, I'm trying to find the words to describe it. Ethereal comes to mind, of course. But it is just the placement, the way the transitions lay on one another, the fact that I get to have a rainbow from here to here, immediately yes. Also, look at this. I feel like this is going to be perfect. How much fun is this? It's basically, it's gonna have everything that we need for that level of sparkle and building on top. So I'm really excited to use this for this look. I have my brows glued down, and I'll do it more in depth once we get closer to Halloween. I didn't do my best job today, but it's gonna be all right. You just use Elmer's glue. I have tutorials on it on Reels if you wanna scroll back, but right now I'm just gonna give it a nice little powder. Make sure you're using a fluffy brush. We don't wanna disturb the glued down brow, and you want them pretty flat. Do you see how flat they are? That is important. Okay. And they were completely dry. Letting them completely dry is so important. Sticky brows are, they're not going to behave. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to grab a spatula. Oh, hang on. This is going to be perfect to cover up my brows because it's so intensely pigmented. I'm gonna scoop some out and I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand because body heat is gonna be our friend right now. That way it's gonna make it glide a little bit more easily on top of my brow. And I also don't want to use a ton of product because there is moisture in this, and that moisture can reactivate the washable glue essentially. So we want to make sure that we can get it on here really thin, really quickly, and then set it immediately. That's what I've learned over my Halloweens. Ooh, hang on, I need a 𝗕𝗘𝗧𝗬. Let me find one. All right, now that body heat has it nice and warmed up, we're gonna just grab it and smooth it on with this. I know, it's horrifying. Yeah, it's fun to me. And then just push it into the brow. I could have got them flatter, but that's okay for today. Ooh, I didn't even need to color correct with this stuff. Sometimes you'll see that artist will put on orange first. We didn't even have to do that because this is so pigmented. Get in there. Okay. Now while we have this brush, let's just go ahead and take this up and thin it out. I'm gonna try not to touch my brows as much now. And I'm also not gonna use this as base where I have friction, but it's okay for it to kind of cover up that. This stuff is wildly pigmented, and that's amazing for what we're doing today. How sick and tired are y'all of me with this already? I want you to reach for your most pigmented powder foundation. Not powder, it needs to be powder foundation. And I'm just gonna press that on top here. And we're just wanting to make sure that we're not reactivating that glue. And there you go. Pretty much hidden eyebrow. Not my best job, but good enough because I didn't even plan on this look today. I just woke up and a lot of y'all had sent it to me and I thought, you know what? That looks fun. And then one more light dusting with the loose. I'm actually going to take this pin here. See how it's 4 prongs? This is a delightful pin if you have very sparse brows. For me, when I have my normal brows, it's a little bit too, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, my brow hair is too coarse, so I can't get in there all the way, but look at how nice it is if you have very sparse brows or no brow hair at all. It's really, really nice because it just kind of does the work for you. And we can still clean up everything with, I'm actually going to do white base here in a minute. So you're going to see even less of kind of my little mess up there. And to be fair, that's actually not that bad. I'm telling myself these things. Get on there. Also, do this into your mirror, not your phone. You will have a lot better. I'm just going to keep drawing. And I'm just gonna kind of keep going back over a couple times. I feel like most of Chapel's looks have kind of a translucent white base underneath from the eye makeup to the foundation. And we're certainly gonna be doing that today. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab white eyeshadow base and bring that all the way up. Isn't this fun? I better not hurt any nose. Y'all know I'm fragile, I hive up, and I cry. I think I mentioned that in the podcast. It's fun to watch, though. And then we're going to bring it down. I'm going to grab our 𝗕𝗘𝗧𝗬, but I knew I needed some precision up here. Grabbed our D2. We'll need this side in a little while anyways. And we're just going to smooth it out. Now I'm trying to think if I want to do a wash first. I think I'm going to... I'm just winging it, y'all. We're just out here having fun. I'll grab this neon white. It's in the neon palette. That's going to go on the highest point of my brow. Get that really nice and set. I'm using a ton of product because you really got to get in here and set things. Nice. And then we're still going to be layering a ton of the shimmers and such on top of all of this, but we kind of have to do our groundwork first. Let's just do a light wash of the pink. And I did switch to an E29 because now it's time to just do some washes underneath all of this, just to kind of lay down the base and the dimension of where this is heading. And I'm not going to worry too much about placement and all of that jazz as much, because anytime that we're going to add shimmers on top, we're going to lose a lot of the definition. We're kind of just wanting a neon base behind all of this, a neon bright, even pastel, just very, very bright colors like this, which we're going to hop over into the pastel as well. Now I'm just taking the purple from the neon palette. I'm going to wash some of that over here. Remember, it doesn't need to be perfect. Tap, 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 tap. And then maybe a little bit of the blue. Because the fun part's going to be all the shimmers. Okay, are we ready? Let's start here. And I switched to an E28. We're gonna have some fun, y'all. These are so sparkly. Okay, I'm so excited. Still working on that same sector. Then let's switch over to maybe here. Do you see how that just kind of blurs and hides? Shimmer always does that. Actually, I'm gonna hop over to the pastel and just add a little bit more dimension just towards the top. These are some of my favorite palettes ever. Especially if you're a working makeup artist or you do any type of creative makeup, they're just so easy and they're so inspiring. And they just work perfectly in a pinch. Now it needs to be a little bit more purpley in there, so I was grabbing from here. Perfect. This is really fun because it just becomes kind of painting essentially. You're just painting on all of these shimmers. It's very relaxing for me. You know it's not relaxing when Sheila runs away. It's not relaxing, Sheila. And then I feel like this one is going to be great. Let's start with the blues here. Maybe a little bit of that one. It's definitely more blue out this way. And then the lid is just a very intense blue. So I grabbed this because it's a little bit more iridescent. Do you see that? It's a little bit more of a flip, and I feel like that would be perfect here because the picture looks like this color to me. So I just grabbed that. I used this the other day. Yeah, we used this on Friday. Good stuff. Yeah, there it is. Hooey. All right. Everybody just keep them makeup seatbelts on. We're gonna carve a little bit more. Actually, I think we'll add a little bit more depth here, and then we'll carve. And we're gonna hop over to the primary palette, also from Bake Up. And I'm not gonna worry too much about it because I'm gonna, oh yes. And then I got my music on. Sorry, y'all. I got so focused that I forgot to turn the music on. Mondays we have music because I don't have to film other things within this particular look. These looks are really just for us. Well, for those of us who enjoy just fantastical, fun makeup. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. And then we'll carve that out a little bit. Back into the white base. And it's not a full cut crease. It's actually this really beautiful smoky wing. But there is definitely some definition here. So we'll just stop it about right there. Isn't that pretty? Don't be afraid to bring it down. I'm going to kind of melt all this in a second, but we're still gonna go much lighter with our foundation today too. Now, this color looks so much like what she's wearing that I have to use it, okay? This, I just know this is it. I should have checked, but if it's not, this is so dadgum close. So let's go ahead. We're gonna pick that up on an E28. Load that brush up. That's nice. That's delightful. Ugh, I love makeup. My face is a canvas. Woo. Well, that was fun. Now it looks like the wing smudgy situation is blue. So I'm gonna grab my Jones Road Navy. It also looks like it's pretty matte, and it also looks like there's a lot of it. So I'm loading up this brush. And since I'm not doing a perfect wing, I'm not gonna worry too much about it, my brush being evened out. I should go look at the shape of it one more time. See how I'm doing that circle? Sometimes that can keep me under control and blend and smooth. And it keeps me from doing a wing. And that still happens, especially when you have this much product on your brush. I'm also overstimulated because my music's a little louder than usual. Okay, so it does go up like this, and there's just a ton of depth at the lash line. So it's gonna go up. See how I'm kind of coming at an angle here? Meow, meow, meow. Speaking of meow, meow, y'all wanna hear a really cute Yuli story while I do this? Ulysses is the newest cat here, the stray. Well, everything I got's a stray essentially, but he's the newest stray. And you know what I will say? I moved to an actual, just quiet little neighborhood. Very, very Texas in the 90s neighborhood. I do not live in a big house and all that jazz. It's beautiful and I'm grateful, but sometimes I think that y'all live in maybe anybody on the internet that does this and that's their full-time job, they live in a mansion. No. That being said, I'm saying all that because my neighborhood is just a precious little neighborhood. And I thought when I moved here, I was like, oh, I'm not going to have any more stray cats because I lived in the country. Okay. So I lived absolutely in a farmhouse out in a small town, just as country as it almost gets. So I was getting cats, saving cats, figuring out homes for cats most of my life. That was my entire existence. And I moved here and I was like, okay, so that's just going to stop. Everything is going to be quiet. And then I am like the only person on the street that actually finds the stray. So my Yuli boy is my suburb stray. I'm like, only I could find a cat that needs a home. And he actually was chipped, but his family said that they were going through some stuff. So if I wanted to keep him, I could. And what am I going to do? Say no to Yuli pants? Now, the story I was getting at before I told you way too much information was this morning I went for a run. I didn't enjoy it. And in the mornings I'm such a dork and this sounds fake. I swear it's not. I wake up, I go outside, I water plants, I deal with tomatoes. Like it really is that wholesome. I know it's gross in this day and age. Nobody wants to hear that. And all of the kitties get to go outside with me. And this morning I was going for that run with Ben and I look back and I hear something hollering at me, okay? Just, and he is like, no, you did not put me back inside. And I don't know if you've ever seen Yuli, but he's so much healthier now. He's huge. He is not overweight. I'm so careful with that. We actually have Gene back on a diet, but he's just gotten so big. So he's sitting there and he is hollering at me and I turn around and run back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And he meets me halfway and he runs and he like absolutely, his tail goes like this and he turns into a monkey and it really was the cutest thing I've ever seen. He was literally like, mother, you were forgetting to put me inside because Gene was already inside and Judah just hangs out on the patio. Remember, Judah's 15. He would never even attempt. So it's like a catio enclosed area, but Yuli is athletic enough to get over that. So he needs monitored more. But I also feel like Yuli was, again, he's 10 years old. We found out that from his chip. But I feel like he was definitely left outside. So he really loves to be outside, but I have to really, really watch him. He doesn't go anywhere, but I'm so careful with cats because I've heard horror stories and things of that nature. But that being said, I also feel bad because he was raised a certain way. So I feel you would just have to see him. He's miserable if he's in 24/7. But he was like, literally, no, you're not. Get back here and put me inside, woman. For a little bit more depth, I'm going to grab Urban Decay Perversion. And that's just going to go really close here to the lash line. And we'll come back and catch all this in a minute. And by catch, I mean kind of go around it. And that's going to be contrast and bring in that depth that we need. Because remember, we still have so much work to do underneath here. Then I'm going to take this off and I have to film something else. Just get this a nice little tap before it dries. Just the edges. All right, I'm going to need Sheila for this initial melt because I basically have the Walmart art supply section on my face right now. So I need to kind of tap this stuff off. All the really heavy duty. And then we can melt over here with the brush too, but just kind of get the art supplies under control here. Okay, it's starting to make a little bit more sense. Now I have my Cellar water just to kind of soften some edges here. and get ready for our white base. Now, it ain't gonna match, but that's the whole situation. And that's one of the reasons chapel makeup is just so intriguing. It's because there's so many different dimensions and layers and colors and textures, and it's just, I love it. We're gonna do Lily Lashes Miami self-adhesive lashes, because why? Because this look calls for them. This actually takes me back so much, listening to Backstreet Boys putting on fun makeup. Nice. Get on there. Okay, I'm gonna let them warm up more and then clamp. So I'm just gonna put this directly on top of my skin tone. Maybe I'll color correct. Me looking at them red cheeks. Get out of here with all that. I think this will be good. That way that doesn't creep through. But we are gonna use that white foundation. But it's not as extreme white as you would think, so I probably will dip into something else to do some highlighting to really intensify what we're gonna do underneath here. I'll probably grab clean canvas. But this will essentially start, not this, the white foundation will kind of get us to where we need to be. And then we'll just pinpoint with the clean canvas. That's nice. House Labs, this is shade, what shade is this one? 000 Fair Neutral. I'm gonna do a lot of it, okay? It's Monday. And if this is your, I always think it's so funny to think about this being someone's first time tuning in. Not only because obviously it's absolutely feral, but I'm using so many different palettes, everything. I'm using super spicy priced things. It is not like this. Most days I try to stick to one palette and I try to do looks for everyone. Today we're doing looks for, I don't know, I love it so much. Isn't that fun? And what happens here and why this is so much fun to do is you get so much more intensity and contrast out of the makeup. Anytime you have a lighter base, all of what you're putting on top is going to be so enhanced. And this is so much fun to me. I was saying it's going to make it more pigmented, by the way, with the white, because we're going to be doing that kind of rainbow underneath here. And I don't have the same shape jewels that she had, but we'll put on some rhinestones. Hair washing day, y'all. Just letting y'all watch it blend and melt. I feel like this is a really good demonstration for the C41. You can see how smooth it gets it. Because this isn't my color, so you would see streaks. So good. Now this is a little too heavy to actually wear as concealer if we're not doing a really wild look. So I just want you to keep that in mind. If you ever wonder why I don't wear it as concealer, it's a little too thick. But it's gonna be perfect for what we're doing here. A little bit more here. I'll use this since it already should have. Let's make sure we're wiping on Sheila. Sheila's a very important component to my looks. Woo! The C41 I feel like is going to shine here, and I'm going to mix these two blushes. And we talked about this when I did Esther's blush technique. You're wanting blushes that are pretty much in the neon family. And then, I'm not gonna open it, but you can see, these are in the neon family, okay? They're waving at it. So I'm sorry. And this is actually one of our my favorite deals that we've ever done. C42 and then the C41 are bundled right now. I'm just gonna link that bundle for you. But let's start here, and then we're gonna start on the blush first because I feel like it's gonna be easier to build upwards. So I'm gonna mix these two because it doesn't look quite pink and then it doesn't look quite coral. Gosh, the C41, so melty. And if you're wondering why I didn't do cream, it's because I feel like I can just get so much more payoff with the powders, and I also have more control. I'm just really into these type of really, I don't know, powdery, super soft powder blushes right now. Yeah, that looks pretty good. If I need to, I can add, I might add a little bit of yellow to it, but remember it's Feral Monday, so I can get wild. Okay, here's where the yellow comes in. This is so perfect. I'm so excited. Get my brush off. I really like this look. This is very fun for me. So let's go ahead. It's gonna go up here. Give it to me. Also, do you see how it turned everything more orange here? That's cool. We like that. It looks like the yellow goes up pretty far, but I need to get that green on first. I'm gonna get the green on. But let's do this side because it's really fun to watch it. I'm gonna take it in here too, just kind of connect it, do a little bit of a yellow drape. I just wake up on Mondays and do this. So it looks like the blue still connects underneath here. Hang on, wiping this off. So that's gonna go underneath here. But then this green kind of comes all the way around. The really pretty turquoisey emerald. Don't get too winged. Lord knows I will. Also, we're in a wet state. I think I talked about this the other day. Yes, I did. And you can just kind of take that at this point and fluff those off, and then still go back over it and you'll be fine. Nice. Now let's hop back into the primary palette. We're gonna soften the blue just a hair. And then it just starts to kind of rainbow down. If we've learned anything, we've learned that white as a base, even on small sections, say you wanted your blush to be a little bit more true, do a very, very light concealer, or even your brightener as a, not your brightener corrector as a base for your blush. That's something that we can learn from where I've taken this. And then from the blue, then it looks like it is grasped by this color. And this looks pretty heavy on the inner corner too. Don't you worry about fallout. That's something we can learn here too. Okay, then we'll switch to yellow in just a second. I'm gonna soften that. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I just wanna get this on. I feel like these types of extreme creative makeup are really just about knowing how to handle mess ups, really. So I wanted the inner corner to be a little bit more neon. So we're just gonna grab the neon green. Brighten that up a little bit. So cool. And then I was hesitant to blow on that because I tried to be very mindful of blowing on brushes, blowing on palettes, because I have a lot of working makeup artists. So if I do that, remember, this is all my personal stash. But that being said, I feel like it's still important to make a verbal note. Some of us, we already know this. We would never assume. We know what assuming does. But I always want to make a note about it, that it is okay that I do it, because I can be a goblin, because this is only for this goblin. Now I just have a fluffy brush here, and I'm just kind of dusting away any intense fallout, because it's really not that big of a deal at this point. I know I say that a lot, but it's really not, because we're still in such a wet state that we can take whatever's left here, work it in. And then dense brush. There you go. And we get to melt more. And now we're about to head on over to the shade yellow. Actually, we're gonna go kind of neon green and then yellow. Let's mix these two. It's just gonna brighten up everything. And this is still in the green realm. We're not quite to the yellow. Look how cool that looks. And this is the neon makeup palette. Anytime you see these tiny little palettes, these are the makeup palettes. Another one of my favorite artists. That's her brand. I love artist brands, y'all. Now, this is the primary palette. And then I'm gonna grab this brush because I want more of a veil. Melty. Now this is an extreme white powder, okay? It's kind of gonna speak for itself here in a second. And that's what I'm gonna set kind of the center with here. I might need to come back in and do a little melting between that and that, which I do. But if you're looking for essentially the most intense version of a white powder, I really like this one from Beauty Creations. They did a really great job with these really intense powders. At this point feels so good. Then I'm gonna grab the fluffier brush, the D1, and then that's what I was talking about, the melting. And I'm just gonna throw on these little individual lashes. These are individual under. These are from 𝗕𝗘𝗧𝗬 lashes. Good. And you're supposed to glue them because they're not going to stay. Let's not act like they are. This is just the glue that is there for packaging. So, but they'll stay for what we're doing here. Now I'm going to add some bronzer to my forehead. I know that Chapel doesn't normally wear it. Oof. She doesn't normally wear bronzer, but I wanted to wear bronzer. That's why I didn't fully blend it. So I want to hop back here. Is that one it? Yeah, I'm gonna hop back here, and I wanted to just kind of brighten up the inner corner just a hair. There you go. I'm gonna grab my Gucci bronzer because it's wildly pigmented, and I'm not gonna take it, oh yeah. I'm not gonna take it here, but I am gonna take it here because I love to add a ton of bronzer at the outer part of the face and aside from my forehead to really kind of contrast and pop all of this color forward. So it's kind of something you could think of it when you want to do your favorite blush and you want your blush to really stand out. Go heavier with your bronzer, but don't go here. Just go on these edges. this will even capture it too. I call it capturing. Now it definitely looks like Chapel has on real glitter, so what better excuse to use this? And this is where I would safely use it. I know sometimes we're all a little daring and some of us would use this on our eyes, but it's technically not eye safe. I'm just gonna switch it out that way. So I just like to be mindful. Not judgmental, just mindful because I care. I love you so much. I don't want glitter in your eye, even though I would probably still use this on my eye, but it's really meant for right here. Right here is exactly where we would apply it. And this looks pretty good compared to, compared to the pictures, what I'm saying. What am I saying? Who am I? I do know what day it is for sure. I'm excited for the new Shrek collab. This is one of my, one of the collabs I've been the most excited about. So we will do a look with the collection. Lash glue. This is my Line It and Lash It from Duo. I'm gonna do some rhinestones. My brow came loose over here, so we're gonna hide it. Cleansing balm, in case you're wondering. It's gonna get all this off safely. Not even one of these brow hairs is gonna be lost. We're gonna be just fine. Ooh, I like this song. And then I'm just gonna do this all over my face. I guess I'll match it. Anytime I cover up my brows, I always just want to shade them. Miss Erin Parsons inspires me every day. And then I remember, you know, I'm just not as cool as Erin, so I can't shade my brows. So I keep my brows. I'm tempted. And I'm not doing the same exact placement as Chapel, just kind of wherever. It's just fun. That's kind of the fun part. And then if you just want to search nail art tool, which I'll just say that's all I did. I didn't buy any specific one. I bought a million of them over and over. It just has a wax tip, and then the rhinestones are also just from Amazon. I just buy random ones every single time. So it's not really any, there's no specifics here is what I'm trying to say. Hold the presses. Look at how pretty this lipstick is. This is a new shade from Melt Cosmetics. That's actually gonna be pretty every day, all the time. Exactly, Bryan Adams. Oh, let's try this lip liner. I think this is a new shade of lip liner for them as well. I really like this color. I feel like I really like it when I'm more fair too in the winter. Oh yeah, give it to me. Ooh, what color is this? Scrumptious. That's not the shade. Why am I saying toast? Also delicious. It's almost cereal time around these parts. I do believe that this was the right shade for this, but I also think that we should take, remember Lazy Bones, this pigment? No, this is Creative. And I'm not sure if this is lip safe, but on Mondays I do disclaimers and I'll let you know if some things aren't lip safe, some things aren't eye safe, but this look is all about creativity. So we're just gonna go for it, but I always give you a disclaimer. Not too bad for completely unplanned and just kind of thrown together. I feel like there's more yellow here, but I also have a little bit more from here to there than Chapel does in terms of I've got a bigger face. I feel like I even did the lip color. I didn't even really look at the lips. I love this lip color even without the blue. Okay, this is fun. Thanks for suggesting this. I added more yellow. There you go. I really like the yellow in this look. It's just so pretty to me. All right, friends, I hope that I did this justice. I really had a good time while I did it, and I really feel that at the end of the day, that is what makeup is about. And that has been my mission for many years now, is to help you, and I know we're not all doing this, But I want you to have fun doing your favorite style of makeup, whether that's just your lip gloss and finding a way to make that go on easier or stay longer. That has been my mission. Or if it's this, I want you to enjoy the process. Now tomorrow, I already have a pre-filmed soft little taupe look. I already know how that ends, and it ends quietly. I had so much fun. Thank you for suggesting this, and make sure that you follow Dee, the artist that created this beautiful look on Chapel. Thank you. I like when y'all send me ideas, but you know what I was thinking the other day? I have spent many years, and we just talked about this, it's gonna be brief, but I try to recreate looks because everybody wants these recreations. And not only that, I always think about helping others. It's what my passion is, but it's kind of made me forget what my classic makeup style is as an artist. I don't even remember who I am as an artist. I guess I'm just a helper. And you might not know what I'm saying, but if you've ever looked at an artist's makeup and you went, oh yeah, that's definitely, let's just say Mario. That's definitely Mario's style. And I know that I had one at one time, but I've gone so far into this that I don't think I have a signature style anymore. I guess that's okay. I'm gonna think about that for a second. I mean, it's something to think about. Even if this might be a message for you right now, if you're an artist, don't go too far away from your signature style because it's you. And I feel like I was just supposed to say that today. So, all right, I love y'all. That's enough yap. I'm gonna save this to my highlights, and I love you with all of my heart. Bye for now. So as soon as I got done with this look, y'all wanted to see me take it off. I told y'all, cleansing balm. Now, I'm gonna let that sit for just a second. It's warming up with my body heat. These are reusable. Those go back in their little box. These I could reuse, so I'm gonna put these to the side here. They just kind of, remember, I didn't glue these down. If you missed the tutorial, which it should be on my saved highlights, I didn't glue these down. So, yep. All right. I'm gonna leave my contacts in. I know this is wild. Now let's kind of make sure this is nice and even. I don't go to my lips yet. And then I'm just gonna go to my eyes. I actually don't, oh yeah, I forgot I had my brows. Honestly, that's Elmer's glue. So that's going to activate with water alone. So cleansing balm will definitely wake that up too. Just keep warming. We gotta go emulsify. Do you know what emulsify is? That's where you add water to this and it really starts to come to life. Now I could have picked off the rhinestones, but for this I'm not going to. You can absolutely save them if you want to. There's my brow coming back. How do I stop this? My fingers are dirty. Now before I emulsify, I'm gonna get the lips off. But I don't like to drag the lipstick all the way up here or really anywhere. So I just kind of get that going. Now we're gonna go add water. So I went to the sink and I added water. And that's what emulsify is. This is where it really all starts to come off. You gotta add that water and just work it in. Oh, I have eyebrows again. It's me, Rose. Nice. All right, now I'm gonna go back to the sink and do one more rinse. And this is what it looks like after the rinse. I still use a makeup eraser just to get off any of that excess black. Remember, that was a lot. That was a lot that we had going on there. So I'll really just kind of work this into my lash line. Still love my classic makeup eraser, but you can see how much it gets off. And then I go wash my face again. But I'll get you a link to what I use to actually wash my face, because I still use one of those little sponges. Not the Buff Puff. Who remembers the Buff Puff? No, I'm not tearing my face off. But I do like to make sure I get all of that makeup off, because most days, I mean, we see it. I wear a lot of makeup. And I go wet my face again. I grab this face wash. This is the one I've used forever. I love it. Ben and I both use this one, and he has sensitive skin. So we love this one. And then these little things are the greatest things to ever happen to me, because then I'll put my face wash on there, wet that, and then really finish getting that makeup off. And I feel like that's one of the reasons I get really light exfoliation, daily exfoliation, and it just really gets the makeup off. So I don't really have a lot of, well, genetics play the biggest part. I always say that, but makeup can clog pores. And I will say that my pores are very happy. And I feel like this is one of the reasons why. And then again, with the rhinestones, you absolutely could have just picked those off with your fingers or tweezers and saved them. But I think I partially forgot because I got too excited to film this for y'all. And I just want to make note of that. I normally do save them, so please forgive me. And also, if you still see sparkles, I haven't washed my face. I have to go downstairs to do that. All right, I love you. That's how I take it off. It is pretty easy. There's a few steps, yes, but there's not a lot of tugging and like chaos with getting it off. It's mostly just steps, but they work for me. All right, love you. Bye for now.